Today we're going to talk about the most important tool for applying for a job, the resume. You may not think much of it now, but if you ever want to pursue a job that doesn't involve hot grease, angry customers, or working for your family, then you're going to need a resume. So what is a resume exactly? A resume is a document which you use to promote yourself to potential employers. It highlights your relevant experiences and noteworthy skills to depict you as the most qualified candidate possible. Employers use the resume to form their initial opinions of you, and since they've received between 100 and 200 resumes per job posting, you can't afford to leave them with anything other than a stellar first impression. You don't get a lot of time to leave a first impression either, because results from an eye tracking study show that the average hiring manager looks at a resume for about 6 seconds. So if you want to stand above the competition, your resume needs to have relevant information presented in an easy to scan format. That means no long lists of jobs and no wordy autobiographies. Let's take a look at what a good resume looks like. With just a glance, it's easy to understand the candidate's capabilities. That's because the sections are arranged in a logical format with the most relevant information first. When you read through it, you see the information supports the idea that the candidate is qualified for the job. You'll see there's no added fluff and no filler. Your resume should have a similar structure and include the following sections: your name and contact information, summary of qualifications, work experience, and education. Let's look more closely at each of these sections. Your name needs to be the first and most distinguishing piece of information on your resume. After that, you need to include your address, phone number, and email address. Make sure that your email address is appropriate to share with employers, because anything outside of the norm will probably cause your resume to be thrown out. Also, remember to check your phone's voicemail message too. A recruiter calling you for an interview may second guess their decision if they hear something like this.
What it is, this is George, aka DJ Candy Corn. Spit your piece when you hear the beep beep beep.
Now, something like this would probably be better.
Hi, this is George. Sorry I missed you, but please leave me a detailed message and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. Thanks.
Next, you want to have a summary of qualifications. Also called a career summary or profile, the summary of qualifications is your resume summed up in a few sentences. It gives the employer an instant picture of who you are as an employee. After the summary of qualifications, you want to list your work experience. In most cases, we recommend arranging your work history in reverse chronological order. That's where your most recent job is first, then followed by your next most recent job, and you continue on down the line. At most, we recommend you have about 3 or 4 jobs in your work history. If you have more jobs to pick from, then select the positions that are most relevant to the job you're applying for now and keep them in reverse chronological order. When you include an employer, you want to list the company name, the city and state where you worked, your job title, and the start and end dates. After that, you want to list your greatest accomplishments while working there. Listing accomplishments is much better than simply stating your duties, because accomplishments prove that you added value to the company. The next essential section is education. Include the name of the school that you went to and the date that you attended or the date you expect to graduate, and only list courses or education concentration if you think they pertain to the job. You may list education before work history, but only if you think it's more important than your work experience. You may want to do so if you went to a prestigious school or were in a program that relates directly to the job. You can also include sections for your skills, military experience, clubs, interests, and awards. Only include these sections if you think that they will be relevant to the job you're applying for, or if you think they make you a more compelling candidate. So now that you know everything that makes a good resume, let's take some time to make yours better.